Hello everyone and welcome back to another new album video. We're now on week 35 and this week we're taking a look at Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. First released August 23rd, 2024. Some notable tracks off this album include Espresso, Taste, Please, 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 and Good Graces. So a very recent album. Been looking forward to this one for kind of for a few months now. I think some of the stuff, like the first single, came out like in April. Hadn't really heard of her music until I think she was touring or opening for Taylor Swift on some of the U.S. Eras Tours dates last summer. So that's kind of where I first heard of her. This is a very solid just pop album. Also, fairly short, kind of like playtime, like 30 minutes, maybe a little over 30 minutes. We'll get to the actual runtime a little bit later in the video. But overall, I was really looking forward to this one. This is one of the episodes I kind of had planned out because I knew this album was coming out in August. I for some reason thought it was early August, but it ended up being late August, so just this past week here. But I've listened to it a couple times and have really enjoyed it. A couple singles off it are really good. Had a good time listening to it. I listened to it, I want to say Thursday night, a few nights ago, because it came out on the 23rd, which would have been Friday. But I think it was that was like the East Coast time, so it was like around like 10 o'clock over here. So I listened to it and I liked it. I have some notes here. We're going to discuss the album, get to the track list, and all that kind of stuff. So let me just grab my notebook here and let's get to it there. All right, so like we said, released August 23rd, 2024. This is her sixth studio album. So couldn't surprise she's put out that many. I think she's been doing it for a while. So but six albums is quite a few that I've only listened to one other album of hers before this. So I probably will go back at some point and listen to some of her earlier stuff as well. Just a very solid pop album. It's very firmly in the kind of pop genre. Produced in part by Jack Antonoff. I like Jack's work when he's working with other artists. I really like his work when he worked with Lana Del Rey and Lorde. I don't particularly love his work when he works with Taylor Swift, like the Tortured Poets Department. I think his production was a little flat. I didn't really like it. His production is actually pretty good on this album. So I think it just depends on who he's working with. Like some artists like Lana Del Rey, I think he gets great work out of her. He got some really good work out of Sabrina on this album as well. And in the past, I think he's gotten good work out of Taylor. Maybe they just have grown too accustomed to each other, and they kind of are just kind of phoning it in. That's how I felt about the Tortured Poets Department. But felt like his production on this album was pretty solid. I think there's a couple other producers on this, but I forget who the other producers were. Let me just bring this up here. So the producers on this are Julian Bunetta. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. John Ryan, Ian Kirkpatrick, and Jack Antonoff. So 4 producers overall. So we have the producers there. The previous album, I think it was her previous album, is Emails I Can't Send. I listened to that earlier in the summer. I think I ended up listening to the deluxe edition, which was called Emails I Can't Send Forward. Thought that album was really good, and it kind of definitely made me more interested in listening to Short and Sweet when it eventually got released. So apparently the content of the album, from my research on this, is about her love life, dating in the 2020s, short relationships, and then the runtime of the album, which is actually short and sweet. So it's a short album, but it doesn't feel padded out. It feels like it's a complete album. And I think I mentioned this on another video where I definitely do appreciate an artist that if their album only takes 30 minutes to get through, and they can get through all the stuff they want to say in 30 minutes, I appreciate them just doing it in 30 minutes instead of, padding out another 30 minutes or 20 minutes or however long of filler. So this album doesn't feel like it has really any filler. It all feels like it very much belongs on the album, and kind of tongue-in-cheek way of saying the album is short and sweet. It's short, but it actually is complete, and it's not it doesn't like overstay its welcome or anything like that. Really appreciate when artists basically say, I only need 30 minutes to do this, and it's only going to be 30 minutes. They're not going to make it longer with a bunch of filler tracks. Let's see, so that was that. This is apparently, according to the research, her second album, as she was saying, as a full-fledged artist. And what I think she meant with that was some of her earlier work was probably like a lot of like record labels like meddling with stuff, being like it needs to be this long, or you need to have this many tracks, or the tracks need to be in this genre, and they need to be about this, that, or the other. Basically, with Emails I Can't Send Forward, she was saying that she's basically has much more, if not full, kind of creative control over the album and the kind of the direction that it goes in. So, earlier works probably, maybe aside from Emails I Can't Send Forward, having more kind of like record label, like getting their hands in stuff and making kind of like directives about like the direction of the album and things like that. So, the previous album and then this one are kind of all basically like she had creative control, or pretty much full creative control over this album and the previous one. Some singles off this that I really liked, and they've been out for a while, kind of like very good earworms for the summer, were Espresso and Please, Please, Please. I think those were, they're not very long. I think like Espresso is a little under 3 minutes. We'll get to the actual length of each track individually once we get to the track list. But then the second single was Please, 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 which I felt was like really good. A lot of really good instruments on that, and kind of like cool, like very like synth poppy sounds on both those tracks. But yeah, Please, Please, Please and Espresso were definitely very catchy, or are very catchy. I listened to those a few times before the album came out. I remember Espresso kind of blowing up when it came out. I think that came out in April. I'll get to the singles here in a second. So yeah, the singles off this are Espresso, which was released in April. Please, Please, Please was released in June, and then Taste was released in August in conjunction with the album getting released. Some pretty good reviews for the album. I'm going to bring up those review scores really quick here. Just pull these up. So it's got a bunch of good reviews. So we have, let's see here, Metacritic has it at a 79 out of 100. The Clash has it at a 7 out of 10. We have a 4 out of 5 from the Daily Telegraph. Evening Star has it at a 3 out of 5. 4 out of 5 from the Independent. It looks like 3.5 out of 5 from the Irish Times. Line of Best Fit has it at a 6 out of 10. Pitchfork, who I've said before is usually pretty strict with their reviews, has it at an 8 out of 10, so a pretty good review from them. Rolling Stone has it at a 4 out of 5. Slant has it at looks like a 4 out of 5 as well. And then the Times has it also at 4 out of 5. Some of the kind of more, I don't want to say negative, but some of the reviews that were a little bit critical of the album said the lyrics are, let's see what I wrote down here, that were pretty low risk overall. Like, she's not singing about anything like groundbreaking or anything like that. And the lyrics do kind of play it safe for the most part. But I think overall, the album, even if they're using kind of like safe lyric, not safe, but if they're playing it safe and making it as kind of like commercially friendly as possible. I mean, there are some tracks with some swearing on them. But I feel that it still is a very solid pop album, even if a lot of the lyrics are kind of playing it safe at times. So we got the reviews there, and then we're gonna get into our track listing on this. Pull down here. So depending on which version of the album you're listening to, I think I just listened to the normal standard edition. There's the standard edition and then the limited edition. So 12 or 13 tracks depending on which album you're listening to. Runtime on the album actually like 36 minutes and 15 seconds. So not terribly long, like a very, very easy listen overall. So we're looking at, again, 36 minutes and 15 seconds with 12 tracks, or 13 tracks and 38 minutes, like roughly a little under 39 minutes on the deluxe version. But track 1 is Taste. Pretty solid. Comes in at a little over like 2.5 minutes. Track 2 is Please, Please, Please. Probably one of my favorite tracks on the album. That and I think Espresso are really good. That Espresso and Taste are like the top three albums for me, or top three tracks. But track two is Please Please Please. Very good. That one is produced in part by Jack Antonoff, and I think his production on that one is actually pretty good. Track three is Good Graces. That was pretty solid. Track four is Sharpest Tool. Track five is Coincidence. Track six is Bed Chem. Track seven is Espresso. That's just a very catchy track. One of my favorites on the album. Track eight is Dumb and Poetic. That was also like pretty funny as well. Pretty good. Track 9 is Slim Pickens. Track 10 is Juno. Track 11 is Lie to Girls. And then track 12 is Don't Smile. So again, that's the standard edition there. And then if you're doing the deluxe edition, you get a 13th track, extra track here at Needless to Say. So 12 or 13 tracks, depending on what you're going with. Either 36 or 39 minutes, basically, on what you're going with there. Overall, just a very solid pure pop album. I had a lot of good fun listening to it. I listened to it twice, and then of course with Espresso and Please Please Please, I've listened to those a handful of times over the summer, the past few months. But definitely worth checking out, especially if you're into pop music. I could see this one doing pretty well. Don't know where I would rank this in my like albums of like best albums of 2024 list. I don't think it's quite as good as maybe something like Brat or Hit Me Hard or Hit Me Hard But Soft. Was it Hit Me Hard But Soft? I think is what that was, or Hit Me Hard and Soft. Let's see. So Hit Me Hard and Soft. All right, cool. So I don't think it's as strong as an album as that. I'll have to go through my list of 2024 albums to see which ones kind of stand out. This one it's still very solid. Just don't know where I would rank it with the other albums I've listened to from this year. But definitely a very good pop album that I would definitely check out. But that's gonna do it for this episode. We'll be back again in a week with a whole new album. No idea what that's gonna be yet, but there's still a lot of music coming out still that hasn't been released yet for the rest of the year. And also, we may just go with an older album that I haven't listened to before either. So, again, we'll be back in a week with that. Again, that's going to do it for now. So, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.